What is happening now behind the scenes in this Ukrainian file is much more dangerous than these military strikes. The world awaits Ukraine's official response to Trump's war-ending plan, but information has leaked confirming that today we are facing a two-headed plan. A Russian plan consisting of 28 points and a completely different Ukrainian plan consisting of only 19 points. Russia says that any modification is rejected, and Ukraine says it has agreed to the plan, but it has agreed to a completely different version. So today, the situation is exactly like what happened in Gaza. Two parties agree to the plan, but each party has a different version. So there is no real peace at all. There is only a temporary truce that is promoted in the media as a historic achievement for Trump. How is that? We'll reveal this today. Stay with us. Dear viewers, peace be upon you and God's mercy and blessings, and welcome to our renewed meeting today, God willing, in this episode of the Opinion series. Before we get into the details of today's topic and revealing the secret plan that Trump wants to rely on in this Ukrainian file, we must clarify before that the latest developments in this war, because it's clear, dear viewers, that the war, which everyone thinks has reached its final stages and will stop soon, is actually the opposite. It's getting more intense today. So today we will talk militarily. Russia has once again returned to strike the Ukrainian capital, Kiev. It has also returned to strike the main cities in Ukraine, such as Odessa, Dnipro, Kharkiv, and others. So today, dear viewers, Ukrainian media admitted that at least 6 people were killed and more than 14 people were injured. This is just a preliminary result of this Russian attack, but among the other consequences of this attack is that it caused new power and water outages in the capital, Kiev. Russia today bombed 2 thermal power stations for electricity, also bombed a train station in Kyiv, and also bombed one of the most important ports in Odessa, Ukraine. So it's clear that Russia carried out a strike today on all the main energy and transportation targets, meaning it's a strategic strike. International reports say that this attack involved about 500 drones of the Iranian Shahed type. They also say that this attack included 22 missiles of various types, including ballistic missiles. What's also strange is that there was a breach of European airspace by Russian aircraft. In NATO, this has become a very normal occurrence because almost every day there is a similar incident. Every day we hear news that a Russian plane or drone has breached the airspace of Poland, Belgium, or one of the Baltic states, and so on. Today they also said that Russian drones breached the airspace of Romania and Moldova. Today, Russian drones breached the airspace of Moldova and Romania. News like this has become normal. It happens almost every day. In general, the Ukrainians also attacked Russian territory today. They also attacked areas in southern Russia, and we're talking about more than 200 drones there. Russian media outlets admitted that at least 3 people were killed because of this Ukrainian attack. There is talk that 20 other Russians were injured in this shelling, so in general the war is intensifying. The Russian Ministry of Defense said that the Ukrainians attacked Russian territory today with 249 drones. But to pay close attention, they said that 116 of them were shot down over the Black Sea, 4 were shot down over the Sea of Azov, 23 were shot down over the Crimean Peninsula, 30 were shot down over Russian territory, while 76 were shot down over Ukrainian territory, specifically in an area called Krasnodar. And here, pay close attention that this Ukrainian attack stopped flights at 3 Russian airports. Flights have resumed, and these flights were restarted, but only after this attack by Ukraine was brought down and foiled. The important thing is that the military escalation has become significant. Now, the strikes are intensifying as Thursday approaches, as the scheduled date for Ukraine to announce its acceptance of Trump's new plan to stop the war draws near. But it is noticeable that there is a huge difference in air defense capabilities between Russia and Ukraine. It is clear that Ukraine is suffering a lot in this regard. In the face of these Russian hypersonic missiles, which destroy every new air defense system that is activated in Ukraine. Meanwhile, the Russian defense systems are doing their job as they should, despite the vastness of Russian territory. The Russian defense systems cover all Russian lands, even though these territories are so vast. So this is what's new today on the military level, but on the political and diplomatic levels, there are other developments that are completely different. Everyone today is waiting to see what the official Ukrainian response will be on the 5th, as there are some interesting developments today. There is news that has spread across all international media and also in all Arab media, saying that Ukraine has agreed to Trump's plan, but after making changes to this plan. And here, of course, Russia came out to say that any change to the plan is unacceptable, meaning Russia is taking an extreme stance on this. So the situation is really very complicated. It's almost like a miracle. It could happen until this war is stopped. The Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said that Russia knows very well that there are changes being made now to Trump's peace plan, and he said that there is a lot of contradiction. There is a lot of media confusion. Every minute the media comes out with a new plan or a new change to the plan. He described the situation as media chaos. Therefore, he said that Russia cannot respond to everything that is published in the media. He said that Russia is waiting for an official response from America. Some international reports said the United States Secretary of Defense will present today a summarized version of this American plan to the Russians. She said that the plan now consists of only 19 points instead of 28 points as it was initially presented to the Russians, as discussed last episode. Therefore, Dmitry Peskov said that the only substantive plan that can serve as a basis for these negotiations is Trump's original plan. Otherwise, it is not possible. This means that Russia rejects the changes made to this plan by the Ukrainian side. And so here we will return once again to square one. This war will continue until a later date, maybe weeks, maybe months, until a new plan emerges. That's what it means. But pay close attention. There is a statement. Today, there was a somewhat strange statement from the head of Ukrainian national security, Amrov. It might go against what is being promoted in the media today. He said that Zelensky will visit America in these days to meet with President Trump so that an agreement can be reached on this matter with Trump. End of translation by Nancy Konka. 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 Translation. To Ukraine, and it is sold to NATO, which directs it as aid to Ukraine. Pay close attention. During Biden's administration, America was sending weapons to Ukraine for free as aid, but Trump, after becoming president, he stopped this. And now the weapons that Ukraine wants are sent by America. But NATO countries like France, Britain, and Germany are the ones paying the price. So today, what did she say? The White House spokesperson? She said that even arms sales to Ukraine will stop. She said it's not possible to continue with that. So now it means Ukraine is in real trouble now. I mean, Ukraine won't be able to reject Trump's plan, simply put. But what will it do? Maybe it will try to delay the negotiation process. Maybe it will try to buy more time, Panafa. But most importantly, it will try to play with words. So let's pay close attention now. Zelensky says he agrees with Trump's plan, but does he agree with the 28-point plan? Not at all. What's certain is that he's talking about a different plan after the contents of this one were changed. He's referring to another plan made up of 18 points, so everyone needs to pay close attention to this very important point. The real observation is that Trump's peace strategy, which he implemented in Gaza, is the same strategy he's trying to apply today in Ukraine. He wants to repeat the same experience. We need to pay close attention to the fact that the Gaza war is not over yet. In the media, they talk as if the war has ended, but in reality, it hasn't. This is only a truce, and Israel is violating it almost daily. Trump already knew that the Gaza war cannot end, and it won't end today unless Cain disappears, but Netanyahu can't ever agree to stop the war. And the proof is, look at what's happening today in Lebanon. He strikes Lebanon every day. He penetrates Syria. Every day he visits Syrian lands as if they were Israeli lands or lands without sovereignty. More than that, this event happened just yesterday. The bombing of the capital, Beirut, assassinated the second in command of the Lebanese Hezbollah. Why is that? Because he wants war. He wants to drag these parties, meaning Syria or Lebanon, into the war. So Trump knows very well. What does Netanyahu want? He knows very well what Netanyahu might do. But despite that, he made a strategic action plan through which he only wants to buy time or promote in the media that he has actually succeeded in stopping this war. What does Trump say today? He says that he stopped the war in Gaza, in Lebanon, and in Syria. He says that he stopped 3 wars in just one region. So today he wants to apply the same strategy to the Ukrainian issue as well. So pay close attention. The Russians received a plan, Trump's plan, ready-made and tailored to Russian specifications, exactly as the Russians wanted. The Russians did not negotiate it. They did not write a single line in it. It came exactly as the Russians wanted. And this was admitted today by Putin's aide, Yuri Ushakov. He said, yes, Russia reviewed Trump's plan, but there were no negotiations about this plan. They only reviewed its terms, and it was tailored to the Russians. So Trump made a plan to fit the Russians, so that Russia could actually say it accepts Trump's plan. So what happens here? Ukraine gets involved, and it can't openly reject this plan, so it doesn't appear to be against peace. And to avoid the worst case scenario, stopping aid, stopping weapons, or stopping the supply of American weapons to Ukraine, what does it do? Ukraine? Does it come out with an announcement that it also accepts this plan, but after making changes to it? Exactly the same thing happened with Hamas. Trump made a plan tailored to Israel, exactly, including all of Israel's demands, disarming Hamas, then managing Gaza, and so on. Netanyahu stated, we agree to this plan. But the surprise he wasn't expecting, and he didn't think Hamas would agree either, he thought Hamas would refuse. As a result, the world would view them as opposing peace, and Israel would gain support internationally and at the United Nations. But here, Hamas surprised the world and agreed to this plan, making everyone in the world wonder why Hamas agreed. But in reality, they agreed. After making changes to this plan, the most important of which was their absolute and final rejection because it was stripped of weapons. So what happened here? We ended up with both parties agreeing to the plan, but the plan that the first party has is not the same as the plan that the second party has. Israel accepts the first plan, Hamas the second, and America agrees to both. Because what's most important to Trump in all of this? And what does it mean to stop the war now at this stage? So Trump is relying on exactly the same strategy in this Ukrainian file. He wants to repeat exactly the same experience. Russia will have a plan consisting of 28 approved points, while Ukraine will have another plan with only 19 points. The key is that both sides will announce ending the war as per Trump's plan. But in reality, it will never truly be a peace plan. It will only be a truce, a plan. A truce for a while, a truce until the beginning of the major war. But the question now is, will Russia agree to stop the war according to a two-headed plan in front of Ukraine? In front of Ukraine? In front of Ukraine? So for the Europeans who want to use it for the reconstruction of Ukraine, there are definitely fundamental changes there. A statement by the Ukrainian foreign minister said that the new plan approved by Ukraine has nothing to do with the original American plan, meaning he admitted that. This is an admission today that we now have two plans, one with the Russians and a completely different one with the Ukrainians. So the question here is, will Putin agree to a truce that carries the name of Trump's peace plan? Will Putin agree to repeat the scenario of the Gaza war? I think the situation is different, so will he agree? Let us know your answers in the comments below this video.